Welcome to Foundation Training with Bruno Treves. Today we will look in detail standing decompression. Start with your feet hip width apart. Although this pose can also be done with the big toes touching and the heels slightly apart. It is also possible to do this position with the feet slightly wider than hip width apart. The weight is evenly distributed through the three corners of the feet, the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the heel. The knees are straight, but at the same time unlocked. We're not locking the knees, we're not keeping them bent. Again, we're not locking the knees or hyperextending, and we're not bending the knees. We're keeping them straight and unlocked. From this position, we want to make sure that the hips are stacked over the feet. That means that the hips are certainly not forward like that. It's also possible that you may choose to have the hips slightly back. We used to call this a tall founder. In this position, we can engage the muscles of the lower back. Here, we can bring the thumbs to the base of the ribcage and the pinky to the top of the hips, using our thumb and pinky as measuring sticks for the space between our ribs and our hips, which is going to serve to also take into consideration the space between our vertebrae in our lumbar spine. Every time that we inhale, we want to lift the torso up away from the hips, creating space all the way around, especially on the lower vertebrae of the spine. As we inhale, the torso not only elevates up, but it also expands sideways, front, and back. Again, that is sideways, front, and back as the torso elevates up away from the hips. Now we can do the decompression breathing here, and we can also do it in this position with the thumbs opening up to the sides and the fingers spread. Notice that the rotation here comes not from the forearm but from the shoulder. It is the shoulder that opens up, spreading the muscles of the pecs, creating more space to expand the ribcage with the breath. As we inhale, we're lifting the torso up. As we exhale, we're pressing the belly in, exhaling all the air in to be able to keep the torso up. If we exhale from the chest, it's easier for us to collapse, losing the length and height that we have gained. Whether we're breathing in this position or in this position, it's useful because we're trying to decompress at the waistband. It is also possible and recommended for us to bring our arms all the way up. This can be done like I just showed you, with our arms coming straight up like this, or it can be done by tracing with the thumbs pointing in and tracing up. Notice my elbows are lifting, my hands are following. From here, the elbows continue to lift and the hands come all the way up. It is not required for you to put your fingertips together, but by doing so, you create a sphere of tension that allows you to engage the forearms, the pecs, and muscles on the back. Once your hands are over your head, you can pull your shoulders back and in, engaging the lats. Remember, we're not trying to create space at the shoulders, we're trying to create space at the waistband. Once you're here, you simply are breathing again, trying to expand sideways, front, and back. It's also recommended that you avoid letting the pelvis come forward. So again, you can keep those hips slightly back on the tall founder. Another layer that you can add is an anchoring of the legs. This can be done with the feet together, toes touching, heels slightly apart, and the knees touching with the slight internal rotation of the femur, creating pressure in, engaging the adductors. It is also possible to do this with the feet slightly apart, as if we were hugging a tree or a horse, with the legs squeezing in. Again, feeling the tension on the inner thighs. Think of your heels pushing towards each other and the toes pushing towards each other. Trembling is good. If you want, you can do the anchor in this position as well as in this position. Try to keep your breath big and forceful onto the torso and contract strongly the belly in on the exhales. I hope you find this useful. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.